What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Ryan Pineda Show. We talk all things money, real estate, and entrepreneurship. And in today's episode, I'm gonna go over what I spend every single month as a millionaire. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Ryan Pineda, obviously, and I am a real estate investor slash business owner. I've flipped hundreds of homes in my career, and I've built up a rental portfolio of over 25 units. And I built businesses along the way to support those endeavors. And so through all that, that is where my wealth was created. Now, before I was a millionaire, I was a really frugal person. I wouldn't eat out, I wouldn't go to Starbucks, I was doing everything I could to save money. And eventually, as I became an entrepreneur, I realized it's better to just figure out how do I earn more money instead of trying to save money. And so now I've gone from that mindset of being a saver to figuring out how can I just become an earner. If I want something, how do I go make the money to get it? And it's worked out pretty good thus far, and that is the approach I take today. I don't count pennies anymore, I don't budget, I don't do any of that stuff. So figuring out what I spend every month now was pretty tough. The other hard part about figuring this out is that we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month in my business. As a real estate investment company, we're spending tens of thousands of dollars marketing every month. We are spending hundreds of thousands on construction, and we have all these employee salaries and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's not as simple as just looking in the bank accounts and seeing what exactly is happening. But despite all that, I was able to pretty much figure out with rough numbers what I'm spending every month in my personal life. I'm not gonna talk about business expenses like I just said, that would be hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I do wanna show you what I spend on the personal side. So as I said, these are gonna be very rough, round numbers. I did not pull these from QuickBooks or my bank accounts or anything like that. And let me tell you, I have not done an exercise like this in years, so I was actually surprised to see the outcome as well. All right, so let's get into it. Number one, food. The reason I'm starting out with food is because for many years, I had one dream. And that one dream was if I could eat out every single meal of my life and not care about it, I'd consider myself rich. Seriously, and I'm not kidding. That was the bar for me being rich. Because I had meal prep for so long when I was playing minor league baseball, we weren't making a lot of money, we were always on the road, so I had to save money wherever I could and keep my body healthy. On top of that, when my wife and I got married, we continued to do that, and eating out was a luxury for us. And even when we ate out, it was always a $20 to $30 meal max. And I'm actually a foodie at heart. If you ever watch me, I do not eat that healthy. I need to really improve that. But I always said, once I make enough money that I don't even have to care how much I spend on food, I've made it. And I've pretty much calculated it to $150 a day is what I'm spending on food. And that's a pretty big number, but when you think about it, that includes me, it includes my wife, and it includes our two kids. At this point, I eat out pretty much every single meal. I don't really like to cook. And when you actually break it down by how long it takes me to cook versus just going and taking it out, I actually lose money by cooking. My time is more valuable than cooking. So that makes me feel good about spending so much money eating out. But regardless of that, we'll usually spend about 30 bucks in the morning on breakfast between my wife and I. And then we'll spend another 30 bucks on lunch. And then we spend usually about 50 bucks on dinner. So that puts us at about 110. But that's not counting all the snacks and drinks and other things we eat along the way. So I'm figuring in there's probably about 40 bucks there, putting us at $4,500 for the month on food. And ironically, I don't even use that much money on Starbucks anymore. I've got an espresso machine at my house and at my office, and I honestly drink about 6 shots a day. It's really bad. So for those of you who don't know, I love coffee, I love espresso, I love caffeine. It's what keeps me rolling. Probably not the best for me, but I'm gonna live with it. All right, second expense would be mortgages. So this is where things start to get a little complicated. As it stands right now, I actually have 3 different mortgages that I'm responsible for. And this is not counting my rental properties, which produce income for me. I'm not talking about that. So obviously we have the mortgage on the house which we live in. The cost of that is about $4,000. We bought the home for $600,000, we put over $100,000 in upgrades, then we ended up refinancing it, and the total mortgage at this point is about $4,000. But I also cover my parents' mortgage. So 2 years ago, I did something really amazing and bought my parents a house. It was a really good deal we found. We ended up doing the BRRRR strategy, and now my parents live there and we pay all the bills. And the mortgage on that is about $2,000 a month. And I'm happy to pay it because I love my parents, we can afford it, they need the help, and it's just an amazing thing that I get to do for them after they took care of me for so long. But we also have a third mortgage that we take care of, and that is for my friend Haruna, who is a missionary from Africa. And I actually did a video video about how we gave him this house that I'm talking about. You can find it in the description below. Little card here is probably gonna pop up. And that was an amazing thing we got to do. Once again, it was a really good deal that presented itself. We had a big need with them because they needed to move out of an apartment, which I actually own the apartment they lived in before as well. But now I pay the mortgage, the utilities, and everything else so that they don't have to worry about it. That allows them to focus on their missionary work and not worry so much about bills. So when you add all of those up, it's about $7,500 a month in mortgages that I'm accountable for. These three, on the other hand, do not bring me any cash flow because none of them give me any money. So I consider them an expense. And that brings us to utilities on those homes. Now, obviously, utilities vary by season, but it comes out to about $1,500 a month between the three homes. The good news is my house was built in 2018 and the missionary's house is built less than 10 years ago. So the utility bills on them aren't that high, they're more energy efficient. My parents' house is an old fixer-upper, so it actually probably has the highest utility cost even though it's smaller. But all in all, it's about $1,500 a month. The next expense is health insurance. Now, we used to have health insurance through the school district when my wife was a teacher. Once she stopped to become a stay-at-home mom, we maintained it for 18 months through the COBRA program, and that was about $1,100 a month. Since then, we've transitioned to Samaritan Ministries. It's not technically insurance, but it acts like insurance. And it's way cheaper. It's only like $500 a month for us, but it does cover less things. In the end, we're gonna end up paying more for our doctor's visits and other stuff like that, but it would still probably end up being less than the $1,100 we were paying before. But for now, we will count the insurance as $500 for our math. Now let's talk about car payments. So my wife drives a Lexus RX, which is paid off. You may have saw the vlogs that we've done for my Tesla as well as our Tahoe. So the Tahoe I ended up giving to my dad as a company car and a car for him. We paid for that cash as well. We only have one car which is financed, and it's my Tesla at $1,300 a month. It's definitely not cheap to drive, and for everyone saying that the Tesla will save you more in the long run, it's not necessarily true when you're buying a Model X that expensive. Maybe if you buy a cheaper Model 3, you'll save more compared to other cars, but definitely not on this one. But regardless of that, I love the car, so it doesn't really matter. So we'll throw $1,300 towards car payments. The next expense is we have car insurance. So one of the things we do is I cover car insurance for pretty much all of my family. We have my wife and I's cars, we have my parents' cars, my sister's cars, my in-laws' cars. So there's about 7 cars that we are insuring. All in all, it comes out to about $1,000 a month. Next bill up is more of the same. We have our cell phone bill, and everyone I just mentioned on car insurance is also on the cell phone bill. As some of you may be aware, the more people you add to the cell phone bill, the less expensive each person becomes. It's really expensive to have just 1 or 2 people on a bill, but once you have 5, 6, 7, 8, it starts just getting cheaper and cheaper each person. So for everyone on the bill, it's about $500 a month. We use AT&T. We've been using them pretty much my whole life. I don't think I'll ever change. So that covers pretty much all the basic needs. This next expense is pretty much what I guess we spend on things that we don't necessarily need. I'm gonna guess that we spend about $4,000 a month on what I'll call personal expenses. This could be a vacation, could be clothes, could be furniture, could be anything else that I'm missing. I would definitely guess we spend $48,000 a year on random things like that. Now, we do make a lot of big purchases, but many of them are business related, and I'm not gonna include those in here. I'm talking strictly personal things that we just buy for ourselves. So when you take all those expenses and add them up, you're at $20,800, which obviously is a pretty big number for most people. If you're living on $20,000 a month, that is a pretty lavish lifestyle. And as I said before, it was not always like that. We used to be very frugal when we didn't have a lot of money. I would say back then our lifestyle was about $3,000 a month, but a lot of this cost is due to helping our parents, helping my in-laws, helping missionaries, and I'm very happy to do that because we can afford to do it. Even spending $20,000 a month is so far below our means. And you might be asking yourself, Ryan, if it's so far below your means, how much are you making every month? And that's a good question, and I'll tell you, I'll answer it if this video gets enough views. If this video can crack 50,000 views, which I've cracked on many different videos, I will make a video detailing how much I make every single month from all my different streams of income. And I've thought about this question before because I've seen other YouTubers do it. It would be a fun thing because I've got a lot of different streams of income that you may not know about. So if you want that video, make sure you go hit that like button. Also make sure you share this video with somebody so it can get more views. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well and follow me on all the other socials. And let me know in the comments, do you think that that's a crazy amount of money to live on, or do you think I'm living right where I should be, or I should be even living crazier? What do you think, guys? I'd love to know in the comments. But anyways, I hope you guys got value out of this video. Go watch some more videos on my channel. Take care.